know,
Oh,
I've been absent. Yeah.
Miss Absence. All right, so we're gonna do we'll do a little bit of everything today. I know y'all liked the hip
Okay.
stuff last week. Were there any other requests for anything? All of it? Okay. So we tell just modify and do your own thing. So everybody, this one's got knees, that one's got wrists. So whatever you all got, I'm gonna hit all of you onto mute and mute all. Okay, and we're in. Okay, y'all hear me? Thumbs up. Yep. Okay. All right, go find your mat. Super. So, maybe today you feel like sitting differently on your mat. Maybe you want to stretch your legs out, try something different. How about so if you normally would cross your right leg under, try changing it up. Cross the opposite leg under. Yeah, I see some expressions over there, some laughter. So just notice what just came up for you right there. Was that just, Sue's just like, it doesn't want to go. So, did something wacky. Just an observation. And so now that you're in this kind of maybe an uncomfortable, close your eyes. Sam, what are you doing to us already this morning? Yeah. Out of your comfort zone. Here we go. So, take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Again, big breath in. Open your mouth, push out all that stale air. Good. And now see where you can relax. And notice if you're really bringing awareness to what's going on with your legs right now. And see where you can relax. So drop your shoulders down away from your ears. Maybe if you've scrunched up your face, that's the place between your brows. See if you can soften that. And see if you can relax. Feel your sitting bones onto your mat. And I know for myself, my legs are a little tense in this and they're not wanting to relax. Maybe even my toes are a little bit more tense than normal. See if you can just relax them. Let them sink a little bit deeper down. And then really bring awareness to your breath. Feel your chest rising and falling. Bring your arms on down by your sides. Soft gaze, opening your eyes. And a big breath in, arms lift up. Exhale, come down. Again, arms up and down. And if you're really struggling having your legs crossed an opposite way, it is okay to go back to what you feel comfortable with. Breath in again. And exhale down. Great. Left hand comes over to your right knee. Belly really pulls in. Bring it back towards your spine. Right arm tucks right behind your tailbone. Take a nice spinal twist. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears. And set your drishti to one fixed spot. Again, taking anywhere from 3 to 5 full deep yogic breaths in each of our poses. Keep that belly pulled in. Inhale, come back to center. Right arm crosses over and a nice curl with that spine. So here again, maybe if you want to play around, you can either really pull your spine back You can maybe even roll around on your sitting bones a little bit and notice that space between your back, between your shoulder blades. This morning I'm feeling something a little different than I usually do, and I'm feeling in my lower spine, more of my lumbar spine, little in my left shoulder. Just notice in your body, especially with those little micro movements, where do you feel that? And if you find a spot that feels like so good, just stay there. Good. Inhale, come on up. Right arm stays beat, belly pulls in, left arm tucks right behind, shoulders relax down. Maybe open up your mouth and move your jaw side to side. Belly pulls in, inhale, come on back to center, left arm crosses over, and go ahead, take that cat curl again. And notice here, just by changing your arms differently, what you're feeling. So notice here also, did your legs, if you still have your legs in the opposite direction, does it not feel as weird, or whatever word it was now? You kind of forgot about that maybe. Here comes Ella. Ella, our yoga dog. Hi, Ella. Hi, Ella. Hi, Ella. All right, inhale, sit on up, give your dog a pat. Okay, we're gonna do yoga now, Ella. Oh, seriously? Seriously, we're doing dog yoga. Okay, come on. Come on onto all fours. All fours. Come on. Go, 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 go. Seriously. Seriously, all fours. Thank you, Ella. Inhale, lift on up your chin. Exhale, curl your spine. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl. Okay, you guys keep going doing those. Take about 3 or 4 more sets. We're going to let Ella outside. Come on, Ella. Okay. So really feel each of the vertebrae as you're moving. Really filling up and expanding. And then emptying completely. Again, checking your joints, that all your joints are stacked, your shoulders, elbows, wrists, hips, and knees. And then complete one more set, and we're all going to meet together at neutral. All right, we're all there. Super. Bring up your left leg. And we're going to take nice, slow circles with that left hip. Like that dog in a fire hydrant. Speaking of the dog. Keep your belly pulled in. And as you're doing this, try to keep your hips square. So maybe your hip doesn't come up as tall. Notice if you're kind of like putting more weight into that right hip. Keep your gaze right towards the top of your mat. You can change directions. Oh, some good popping. I don't know if you can hear my hips popping. All right, place that leg down and then go for the other side. Three to 5 circles, maybe one way, change direction. Maybe if you're feeling something really good, stay in there, working it out.
We mentioned too, so if this doesn't work for you and you want to be on, if you've got wrist issues, again, you can go on your forearms, all kinds of modifications here. All right, let's all come on back down. And actually, let's come on to our forearms. Curl your toes under, lift your hips on up. Like a puppy here. And then bring your gaze back between your two big toes. Feel your shoulder blades slide on down away from your ears. Pull that belly in. Long spine. Big breath in. Exhale, drop on down to your knees. Bring your tops of your feet down and then sink back into child's pose with your knees together. Arms reach long onto your mat. Maybe even using your fingers to help scoot your arms a little bit longer, and then just sink your arms down towards your mat. Feel your belly on your thigh. I got somebody else coming on into the waiting room. Participant. All right, come on in, come on in. Inhale on up. Stack your joints. So we're back into table. Extend your left leg long. Reach your right arm out with your thumb pointed on up to the ceiling. Draw your shoulder blades on in. And then drop that left hip so your hips are square. Flex your left leg. Reach out that right arm. And then press whatever is touching the mat into the mat. Gaze straight ahead onto the mat in front of your finger. Nice breaths in and out. Big inhale. Exhale, release your arm, release your leg. Go ahead, sink on back, takes child's pose again. I am the neediest dog in the world today. Okay. Come back into table. You good, Ella? Good girl. Okay. Left leg or right leg reaches long. Left arm comes out, thumb pointed up. Again, maybe you need to drop that right hip just a little bit so your hips are in alignment. Retract that shoulder into your socket. So reaching. Maybe you want to kick a hole in that wall behind you. Belly pulls in. Big breath. Exhale, bring it down. Now bring your knees wide. Big toes to touch. Sink back into child's pose, opening up those hips. See how close you can get your chest to melt down towards the mat. And maybe bring your arms really wide so your pinkies hang off the outside edges of your mat. Inhale, lift on up, back into table. And you can leave your knees still kind of wide. Toes back together again. We're going to take thread the needle. So if you want to set yourself up for that one, press your left hand down into the mat. Right arm reaches on up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, slide that arm on through. You're going to land right onto that right shoulder. You can tense your left hand. Just roll yourself over onto that shoulder. So stay here. I know a lot of you know how to progress into the pose, but just be with this pose right now. So no sense of rushing or hurrying on to advancing. Just really feel that right shoulder. See if you can melt a little more into it. Notice where your mind is going. Myself, I'm kind of that type A personality. I want to get moving and get going. And I find it hard sometimes to stay in a pose when I know I can go further. So go ahead, if it's calling for you, you can go ahead, kick out that left leg like a kickstand. Notice if your shoulder just crept on up. And then maybe you want to bring your left arm on up. Maybe make some circles with your arm, your wrists. I tell you on Zoom, what a funny angle looking here. I see a bunch of arms in the air. That's great. Go ahead, if you want to take a bind, you can tuck your arm behind you. And maybe it spins your chest on open on up to the ceiling a little bit more. Slowly release your bind. Bring that left leg on in. Use your left arm. Push yourself on back up into table. And then you can sit back and take a child's pose again, either with your knees together, release your lower back, or knees apart, release your hips, whichever you prefer. Just a couple of quick breaths here. You're not here long. And lift on back up into table. Separate those knees. Right hand presses right into the floor. Left arm reaches on up. Inhale. And then exhale, thread it on through underneath, landing on your left shoulder. So again, really being with this pose within the pose. Maybe extend your right leg behind you. And maybe reach that right arm on up. Circles with your wrists, your arm. Maybe a bind. Really focus on filling up your lungs, taking big breaths in. Inhale, bring that right arm around. Right leg comes in. Press yourself back on up. All right, beautiful. Let's grab a seat right on our bum from here. Get our hips moving a little. So we're gonna just take a wide straddle. So maybe like if it were your legs width apart, you can bring your arms behind you, your fingers pointed behind you. Set them up nice and tall, so we're not curling over and we're not dumping into our lower backs. Nice and tall. And then we're just going to windshield wiper those legs back and forth, nice and slow, feeling the movement into your hip. You can try to get your leg on down to the ground. It's probably not going to get there. Just go with what feels good. Maybe matching a breath with each movement. And then as you come to the right, come on over to your right side. Bring your right shin parallel to the top of your mat. Your back leg can just kind of hang out there, whatever feels comfortable. You can use your hands to get your hips square to the front of the mat. It may be your back of the mat now at this point. And you're going to walk yourself over that front shin. Flex your right foot, protect that knee. And maybe you can just put your arms down, rest your hands on your tops of your head on your top of your hands. And you're going to feel right at the back of that right leg, your right hip, your right thigh. IT band. And some of you know full pigeon, so if you want to take full pigeon from here, there's an option to bring your leg out long. If it's not working, it's not working. This is just the modified pigeon, so if you know full pigeon, go for it. I actually find the modified version of this pose, I get a lot more sensation in my hip. Press yourself on up and come back to our seated position. We're going to take a couple more windshield wipers in between. And then bring that left leg, when you come to the left leg parallel, left shin. Sit yourself on up, nice tall, bring your shoulders down, and then just walk yourself forward over that shin. And here you can even move yourself a little bit to the left or the right. Notice where you're feeling something that feels like really good and really juicy and wonderful, and just stay with it. So just because I suggest something, it's just a suggestion. Inhale, lift yourself on up, come back to seated. And from here, we're going to see if we can kind of get a little fancy. We're just going to scoot on forward and go right into Malasana, our squat. So our knees and our toes are in line. Our toes are pointed out. And we're going to bring our elbows to the inside of our knees. Our bum just drops and sinks on down. Hands to prayer. Margot's laughing over there. It looks like she's laughing. Hey, Cliff. Alright, so we're going to just smile and breathe. Maybe lift up all 10 toes. And then just gently place them down. Alright, let's bring our hands down to the ground. Slowly lift your hips up, and we're going to bring our head upside down here. So we're going to come into a fold. Walk, heel toe your feet on in so your feet are hips width. And then just sink yourself on over. Really bend your knees so your chest kind of is like resting on your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. Your hands should be touching either the floor, if you can't get the floor, your shins. But if you bend your knees enough, your arms should be able to get down to the floor, your hands. And then just shake your head like a bobblehead. Let your head go. Side to side. And then inhale slowly, one vertebrae at a time. You're going to lift yourself on up. Maybe your legs straighten, not locking your knees. And arms hang heavy. One vertebrae, come on up. Ooh, look at that. My head fell off the camera over there. Oh, wow. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so let's come to the back of your mat. And we're going to take a couple warriors, and then we're going to be doing our sun salutations, because those are my favorite. We haven't done those in a while. So right foot forward, and we're going to square our hips off. We're going to take our warrior one this morning. So the back foot, if your right foot's at 1 o'clock, left foot is anywhere between, say, 10 or 11 on a clock. Hips square. Arms reach on up. Shoulders sink on down. Really feel those hips opening. And just play with like little micro movements here and feel, you're going to feel the front of your thigh opening. And as you sink further into that front leg, check your right foot and keep nudging it away from your big toe. Press equally into both feet. Maybe you feel a little bit more pressure. Press more on that back edge of your back foot, like your pinky toe foot. Notice where that sensation travels to. Maybe you can sink a little deeper. And then let's open up in warrior two. So that back foot now is parallel to the mat, more at say 9 o'clock. Shoulders drop down. Fingers reach in opposite directions. Keep sinking lower. Again, really press that back edge. Check your front knee again. Make sure it's not dropping in. And then like this fierce, powerful gaze of a warrior right over that front middle finger. Lift and spread your toes, put them down. Keep your arms up, straighten that front leg, and then spin your toe on in. So hopefully you're looking at me. Both toes, we're going to kind of turn our toes in a little bit so that we're pigeon-toed a little. Yeah, go ahead, put your arms on your hips, and then you're just going to hinge forward at your waist. We're not going all the way down. We're going to go so that we're right with the mat, right straight, flat back. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Really using our core here. Reach the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back. And then go ahead, bend all the way forward, all the way down. Let your head hang. You can use your arms on down. Again, not locking your joints. You can adjust your feet if you need to. And then rock onto the toe ball mounds of your feet so your weight is shifting a little bit forward. Don't grab the mat with your toes. Inhale, bring yourself back to that flat back again. Maybe hands come to hips. Pull your belly in. Inhale, lift all the way on up. Good core right there. And now we're going to take pyramid from here. So in pyramid, again, hips are square. We've got about 1.5 foot distance between our feet. Our feet are like we're on train tracks. Up nice and tall. And then with our hands on our hips, again, belly pulls in, long spine, and then just lean on forward. Maybe your arms can come on down onto tented fingers. And keep drawing that left hip back. Make sure you're not, you keep a bend with your knees again. Keep pulling that right hip back. Oh, you feel that right on the back of your right leg. Keep your spine long. Breathing in, breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Now, if you can, If you need a block, if you have a block handy, or if you can get your left hand down to the ground, block's a good option. I got a block here. Press your left hand into the ground, into the block. Bring your right arm on up, and then reach it on up to the ceiling. Twist using your core, pulling that belly in. Gaze on over to your right, or maybe even you can gaze all the way up towards the ceiling. Keep pulling that right hip back. Keep breathing. Pull your belly in, come twist back to the center. If you have that block, you can ditch your block, and then bring yourself on up to standing. Oh, how was that? Good. All right, so let's do the other side here. I'm going to make sure I'm not giving you my back side as I do this. So you can step to the back of your mat again. Left leg, nice wide stance. You have somebody coming in? Who wants to come in? Oh, Catherine left the meeting. We're going to have her come back in. She fell out. Come on, Catherine. Come on in. Okay, left foot forward. Our warrior one. So again, however you land, you're not stuck there. Keep playing around until you feel comfortable. Hips are square. Front knee at a 90-degree angle-ish. Back foot, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Arms on up. Shoulders sink down. And just melt yourself right into warrior one. On your next inhale, open up, bring your arms warrior two. Back foot becomes parallel to the mat. Slicing in, again, that pinky toe edge. Shoulders soft and relaxed, arms are reaching. Gaze over the front middle finger. Check your front knee, make sure your front knee isn't dipping in. Keep pulling it on back. Big breath. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Spin your toe. So we should all be looking at each other maybe. And let's do a little something different here. We're going to point our toes out. In line with our knees, our arms are up. So we're going to take 5-pointed star, and then we're going to sink on down into goddess. So bend your knees, keep nudging those knees out and open. We're opening our abductors going on here, right? Squat on down, elbows parallel with our shoulders, fingers spread wide. Belly pulls in. Notice if your chest, your ribs are poking out, and bring your ribs, poke them back in, not knit them in. Breathe. Inhale, straighten on up, back to 5-pointed star. Exhale, sink back in to goddess. Maybe smile. Inhale, lift on up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, sink back into goddess. One more, inhale. Lift on up. Exhale, sink, goddess. All right, release it down. Nice job. All right, so we're going to take pyramid on the other side. Left foot forward. Hips are square. Nice and tall spine. Shoulders relax down. Big breath in. Exhale, and then just hinge forward. Again, arms, if we can bring our arms on down. If you have 2 blocks here at home too, this is another great thing where you can put your hands on 2 blocks or 2 books. Those dictionaries are great. Keep drawing your left hip back. And check your knees, you're not locking any joints. Drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Nice full breaths in and out. And then if you have that block, or if you're able to get that right hand on down, press that right hand down. Bring your left hand. You can even bring your left hand to your hip, or you can bring it straight on up and then twist. Keep your hips square the mat. You're just twisting at that thoracic spine. And again, option if your arm's not reaching up, taking that left hand to the hip and then just using that to assist yourself. Twist back to center. Bring your arms down and then hands come to your hips. Use that core. Come all the way up. Woo. All right, how we doing? Ready for our sun salutations? So those are good to get our hips on open. So we're gonna step to the top of our mat. How are we doing? Oh, we're good, we're good. All right, we're gonna flow a little bit here. So inhale, lift your arms on up, deep breath in. Sink into your mountain. Feel your feet rooting on down. Breath in, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Soft bend to your knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw your shoulders back. Maybe your knees are generously bent. Crown of your head forward. Something's touching the mat. Maybe your hands are on your shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Step your right foot back, runner's lunge. So our hips are, again, square. Left foot is towards your left hand. Your knee and your ankle are in alignment. Coming up onto your back toe. Plant your hands, really spread your fingers wide. Step your left foot back right into plank. Core pulls in. Crown of your head's reaching forward. The rest of your body's back, nice long spine. Gaze right to the front of your mat. Just breathe. If you need to come to your knees. All right, let's drop down to our knees together. Sink back, take child's pose. Really notice what's going on with your breath, with your heartbeat. Take full breaths in and out. Maybe sink your shoulders down. On your next inhale, scoot forward onto your mat, your nose barely clearing, onto your belly. Arms down by your side. Bring your hands down by your lower rib cage. Pull your elbows on in tight. Tops of your feet press into the mat. It's going to help protect your lower back. Press your hips into the mat. Inhale, lift on up. Cobra. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Really press those hips in. Inhale. Exhale, you can drop your right cheek down to your mat. Bring your arms down by your side with your palms, spin them face up. You know, if you got glasses on, that's challenging. Clearing breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Flip your cheek to the opposite cheek. And just take 2 clearing breaths here. Breath in, breath out. 1 more breath in, breath out. your chin back to neutral, hands down by your ribs. Curl your toes under, and we're gonna go right into downward facing dog, or you can flow through, you can take table first. However it takes to get you there. You need to come to your knees. In down dog, our gaze is back between our toes. Knees are softly bent. Hips lift on up to the ceiling. Shoulders draw down our spine. And now pay attention to your inner elbows. Try to spin those towards the front of your mat. Almost like if your right hand's opening up a jar of pickles, your left hand's closing it. Get that little spinning sensation in your wrists. Your hands aren't actually moving, it's just the inside of your wrists you feel. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward into a runner's lunge. Just for a brief beat or two. And then step forward, however many steps it takes, come in, both feet together, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, arms big, nice big breath in. Hands come to prayer at heart center. And that's namaste, number 1. We do 3. Breath in, breath out. Arms down by our sides. And here we go, we're gonna take it again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees. This time left foot goes back, runner's lunge. I always mix these up in the order. It's okay. Step your right foot back in high plank. So I'm going to give you an option here. I know some of you have been watching my Girl That Yoga with Adrienne. She does chaturangas, and some people have asked me, what's a chaturanga? So if you want a little challenge, chaturanga is when we drop ourselves down to a low plank. So there's an option to do that. Or you can just drop on down to your knees, take a low plank. So whatever you feel like doing. And then sit yourself, push back, take child's pose. Again, notice that heartbeat. On your next inhale, let's scoot forward onto your belly. Arms down by your sides. Tops of the feet press in. Set yourself up. Elbows hug in. Inhale, lift on up to cobra. Breath in. Breath out. Again, breath in. Really press those feet into the mat. And exhale, come down. Leave your hands right where they are. Curl your toes under. We're going right into downward facing dog. So again, however many steps it takes for you to get there, so be it. Big breath in. Breath out. Bend your knees, really bend your knees. Step that right foot forward, runner's lunge. Left foot comes on up to meet it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms wide all the way up. Hands to prayer, right at heart center. Eyes closed for a breath. And we say namaste. It's number 2. Breath in. Exhale. Arms down by our sides. Go for number 3. Maybe you gotta adjust your wardrobe because that's a thing too. Okay, arms down. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Right foot steps back. Left foot comes to meet it. High plank. Pause in our high plank. Pull your belly in. Shoulders draw back. Either rock forward, take chaturanga, or drop on down to your knees. Maybe low plank. And then sink back to your knees. Take child pose. Inhale, come on forward, right onto that belly. Hands by your side, elbows present, set it up. Press your feet in, press your hips in. Inhale, lift up. Gaze right forward of your mat, spine long. Breath in. See if you can lift a little higher on your inhale. Exhale. Inhale, maybe a little higher. Exhale, drop on down. Inhale, curl your toes. Press yourself back, downward facing dog. Big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Bend your knees, really generously bend your knees. Step that left foot forward. Right foot comes and meets it. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms wide all the way up. Big breath. Hands to prayer through heart center. Namaste. That's 3. All right, let's see you guys. How y'all doing? You holding up over there? Thumbs up? All right, how are we looking on time? All right, let's see what else. Let's do some balancing because our hips are really good and open right now. Yeah? Let's just go with tree. So plant yourself, root yourself down. Start with the bottom, build your base. Rooting your feet on down into the mat, the 4 corners. Right, so your arches kind of pull up a little bit as we feel our inner ankle spinning on back. And root down into that left foot. Shift on over to your left. Weight empties out either on your inner shin or inner thigh, just anywhere but your knee. Hands come to prayer. And maybe you stay here or maybe you reach on up and grow your tree. And then just check in too. So if you fall out, just come back in. But just check in too. So you're going to keep on wanting to nudge that hip open. But check if your hips are going out of alignment, out of square. So there's a lot in tree. It's not just so much about the balancing. It is that hip opener. And your tree is going to look different today than it did the other day. Good. Come on down. And change sides. So root yourself. Right foot sinks on in. Left foot comes on up. And another thing with our tree is our drishti, our gazing point. So if you find that fixed thing to focus on, the horizon or above. Inhale, lift on up. Big breath in. All right, I'm falling out. Come on down. If you're there and you're rocking tree and you want to stay in tree, then have at it. I know afterwards you're all going to be like, I'm just going to be in tree all day. So, okay, come on to your mat. Let's do a couple spinal twists. And wow, we got Shavasana coming. Okay, so roll right onto your mat. You can bring your knees on in, right into your belly. Give them a good hug. That feels good. All right, maybe let's go from here. Let's take a little bit of a happy baby. A little more on our hips. I tell you, these classes go by so fast for me some days. I know you're thinking, okay. Bring those knees back in. And keep your right knee hugged right into your chest. Stretch your left leg long. Maybe you can move it around in your sock a little. If your lower back's cranky, you can keep a pretty good bend onto that left leg. And then we're going to take our right leg and just right across our spinal twist. Try to keep your shoulders rooted on down to the mat. And maybe your gaze goes over that right shoulder. Belly pulls on in, come back to center, bring your left knee on in, give another hug in between, extend that right leg. Couple of shimmy back and forth. And then right leg goes over, or left leg goes over to the left. Arms tee out, gaze to your left. Belly pulls in, come on back to center. Give yourself one more hug, both knees on into your chest. And then bring your legs on down, soles of your feet to touch, knees drop down, Supta Baddha Konasana. So here, take one hand to your lower belly, one hand to your chest, to your heart center. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Again, nice big juicy breath in. Exhale. Arms come on down by your sides, palms spin up. Maybe just sink your shoulders a little more, lift one shoulder blade then the other. Rest and sink your shoulders down. Bring your knees in towards one another and then walk your feet to the outside edges of your mat so your knees just collapse on in. So good. Release for your lower back. Take a big deep breath in here again. Exhale. You can stay here for Shavasana, or you can spread your legs long. And I'm going to leave you all be in Shavasana. Make sure you take a couple of minutes to let the benefits kick in and feel your body settle. And I've got chair yoga at 10 o'clock. Next week, I think I'm going to start moving chair yoga to 10:30, so we're not so rushed. But today, chair yoga is at 10. So I'll see you all later.